Hello and welcome, my name is Maria, and in this video I will be teaching you the fastest way to write an essay and to study for an exam at the same time. So if you're in university, you will notice that many times professors will assign an essay in the last 2 or 3 weeks before your exam, and this might leave you with very little time to study. So I will teach you a way in which you can write your essay and study, so that by the time you finish writing your essay, you will have already studied most of the material, which will make it a lot easier because you still have to study for your other classes. So if you're interested, please keep watching.
So I will be using for this class only as an example. I took this class because it seemed interesting, but I knew nothing about the subject, so it was a bit challenging for me. For my final essay, we were asked to write an argumentative essay and to come up with a government policy. And we were told that the exam would cover all the material covered through the semester. This is not always true. Sometimes it could be for only the second part, if you have a midterm, so you need to make sure what you are being asked to study, and then you can choose one material to focus on. So here we see that this class was divided into 4 parts. It is important to understand how the class is organized because we can see the main topics for each part of the course. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the lecture slides, and we're going to find only the keywords for each lecture. So here I have the second lecture open, and I'm going to go through this and I'm going to find keywords. These are words that are maybe you don't know or maybe you know them, but they are important, and it's important that you know these words because they will be useful for your exam. And sometimes when they mark your exam, what the professors or the TAs will do is that they will look for these keywords, and that's how they will decide if they give you the mark or not. Even if you are familiar with a certain word, you still write it down and you make sure that you know the meaning for everything. And what I mean by a keyword is a term, a concept, or a topic that was covered in class and which was discussed in depth by your professor. And try not to spend time on these slides that have a lot of facts or numbers, because we don't really have time to memorize this information. And what you can do is you can use this information, all these facts and numbers, for your essay as examples, or you can use it to back up a point that you make. And there is no need to memorize it unless your professor has told you that they will be asked during the exam, and they will usually tell you this before, or you can ask your professor if you're expected to memorize them. And once you have a list for all the keywords for each lecture, then you can go back to your required readings, and what you're going to do is you're going to look up these words. So for example, I'm going to go to this reading and I'm going to go to these 2 chapters, and let's say this is the reading. I'm gonna type Control F, and then I'm gonna type the words that I found within this part of the lecture, and let's say that I found the word fracking. So I'm gonna type fracking and I'm gonna click enter, and it will take me to the parts of these chapters where it talks about it, and maybe not all readings will have all the words that you found. So just try to focus on the readings that have the most information. And then I'm gonna show you a website that I found really useful. This website shows you the outline for an essay. So what you want to have is your introduction paragraph, and here you will have your thesis and a few other background information. There you're going to have three body paragraphs and your conclusion. And each of these paragraphs will have a few examples and your analysis, which will be the ideas that you created based on the examples that you provided. And these examples and the analysis will prove your point, and together they will prove that your thesis is true. And then at the end, you will just conclude by saying, this is what I found, and based on this information, this thesis statement is true.
And there you have it. Now, this is a method that I've been using while in university, and it has helped me get better grades both in my exams and my essays, and without having to be stressed out because exam time is usually the most stressful period. I will be making a few more videos in the future explaining how to do your outline and how to do your citations. So I hope that you found something useful, and I will be seeing you later. Bye.